Okay, so you're a single person.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have sex, obviously.
Yep, you enjoy sex.
What is the body count that means you now are officially a slut in the eyes of Destry? Yo, I'm Rugged.
I'm Baldy.
And this is the R&B Podcast.
I cheat all the time.
Are you a cheater?
Yeah. Repetitively, unfortunately. I get bored. It's not that the partner's not good enough. It's that I'm bored. I constantly want new things. I am like constantly on the lookout for like something that's going to just spark me.
Yeah, but doesn't that mean that you just don't like the guy? Shouldn't you just break up with him then?
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't because you know what? I'm at least getting somewhere.
But then the
And
other
I
person
kind of
gets
have, sometimes
cheated
I do
on.
have feelings. Yeah. But this is the thing. They'll never find out that they're being cheated on. I'll just break up with them. No, I'm dead serious. They'll never fucking find out.
You just said.
So you'll cheat and then break up.
Yeah.
But you could have just broke up and then just.
and then just fuck you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But the cheating is like, it's a fantasy. So it's like, this is
Oh, she
exciting
gets
for
off
me
on
to
cheating.
cheat. Because it's actually cheating. If I break up with him and then I go fuck someone, it's just a rebound.
No, I mean, I get it.
Nala.
You should get it.
I mean, most people
Nala.
cheat. Everybody.
Yes,
I
Reg.
think a lot of people cheat.
Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Just break up with something mean. Just break up with the dude.
Yeah.
What? That's not mean. That's not mean. How is it mean if they never find out about it?
Everything she said then was just for clout. She's just doing that. She wants to be someone. She's just doing it for clout. I really don't believe that she believes what she was saying just then. I
No.
really don't believe that.
She believes it.
Look, she's a woman. If she wants dick, it's not hard for her to go out and get dick,
Right?
right? She's saying it's the thrill of cheating
Yeah.
that keeps her going.
She's an incomplete person.
Mm,
Now, notice what she said. She wants new things. She gets bored quickly.
she's searching.
She's searching and she's searching in the wrong direction. She's searching outwards instead of inwards. Because ultimately, the reason you have a partner is not so that you can fulfill some sort of pleasure that you're lacking, but it's to have companionship, to add to their life so that they can add to your life too. Like you see it all the time. I'm not even on social media, right? And people send me stuff. I can't believe what people are saying on social media. Yeah, I've cheated this many times. I've done. Girls are saying this, bruv. Not men. Girls are saying, yeah, I cheated on my boyfriend. Yeah. You think what? Like, what sort of society are we living in where we think it's okay not only to cheat, but go out there and advertise it?
They can't be serious when they say that. They can't be. They can't be serious when people say that.
I think you're wrong.
I
For
don't
what?
know.
Okay, so you think it's just for what clout can you possibly like? How demented can you be to think that that's the correct sort of clout you should be chasing? Oh yeah, that girl over there, she's a serial cheater.
It's provocative. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's going to get likes. It's going to get views. It's going to go viral. Like that's what the problem is nowadays. Is that the younger generation coming through, they're all trying to do something which is going to make them go viral or become a Insta celeb or whatever it is. And that's what I think you're hearing, all this stuff that people are sending you or whatever. Then I really don't believe that. I take it with such a
So
small
you
pinch of
think they're
salt.
just straight out lying? Okay, so let's just assume that it is straight out lies. Do you not think it has a cultural effect on the younger generation?
Yes,
those who
absolutely.
are
It's
not.
dangerous.
Let's just say they're not cheating, right? But they're hearing this message
It's cool
over
to
and
cheat.
over
Or-
again.
Yeah, and that's absolutely like it's going to damage a lot of people. Don't get me wrong. I believe there are some people out there like that. I believe there are. I believe there's some people out there, but like you adhered to earlier on, it's the problem within themselves. Like I don't think it's a societal problem yet. I don't think that's a thing.
I disagree.
I really do.
I disagree. I think there's a lot of depressed people.
Of
And when you
course.
have depressed people, you get people acting in ways that are not conducive to their own mental well-being. And so these sort of behaviors where you're forever searching for new things, you know, look at it's just basically an extension of consumerism. Like I've got a boyfriend, he made me feel good over the honeymoon period, and now that's over, I realize that he's just a normal person like I am, and now I need another
something
dopamine
else.
hit.
Yeah.
And that routine, that pattern will continue over and over again until you understand that the problem isn't your partner, it's you.
Now, this I agree with. In terms of a societal issue, I think nowadays with social media, there's a lot more pressures or unrealistic expectations that people put into relationships or put onto
The
relationships.
Disneyfication of relationships is
The what,
how.
sorry?
The Disneyfication
Yes, yeah.
of relationships. That's how
people
I term
have
it.
this unicorn idea of what relationships should be like and how they should be. And well, I saw them on social media doing this, so why aren't we doing this? Like our parents and our parents' parents didn't have that pressure back in the day. That it was literally go to work, come home, you're there. If you had an issue, you'd work through it. Like, but nowadays it's they're being fed so much stuff, which gives them an unrealistic expectation of what their relationship should be like, which makes it very hard to then function in that relationship.
But how does cheating tie into that? At what point do you think, I know what a good idea will be? We'll spice things up, make my life more exciting and more enjoyable with longevity, is to go out and cheat.
Wait, it's a very selfish thing to do, right?
Selfish.
They're doing it for their own purpose. Oh, great. Now you feel much better in your relationship. Great. What happens if your partner finds out you've cheated? Are they going to then be like, oh yeah, it's much better. Our relationship's really spiced up now? Absolutely not.
More often than not, the impression I get from these youngsters is that if you can bag yourself a hot chick or a hot guy, that's a trophy. Look what I've achieved. It's less about how do we relate on a social level, how can we help each other, how can we make sure we've got each other's back. It's more, what can you do for me? How can you make me feel?
Let's say that relationship she's currently in ends. How hard is it now going to be for her to get into a relationship with someone?
Well, to find a decent man, it's going to be near impossible. But did you notice the host, Roman?
What?
My man was simping. Like, I would have called her out. Roman was like, Nala. Like, what are you doing, bruv? Call her out. You a slut. That's slut actions.
Look, if she can shag 1,000 guys in a week for all I care, don't make her a slut. She enjoys having sex.
Wait a minute. Definition.
No, wait, hold on.
No.
Listen, if she is open and honest with the people she's having sex with, saying we are just having sex, and she's using protection, if she enjoys sex, doesn't make her a slut. Let her do her thing.
What?
She's being safe. She's being honest. That's not being a slut.
Yes, it is.
That's not being a slut.
Yes, it is.
I don't think. Well, you think being promiscuous is being a slut?
I think they're synonymous with each other.
I don't think so. I think, look.
What do you think a slut
some people
is?
some people enjoy sex. Let them have sex.
Hold up. What do you think a slut is? Take your time.
Yeah, let me think about this. What is a slut? Oh, right, this is you've thrown me here. Being highly sexually active, if open and honest with someone, I don't think is being a slut.
Please don't define it by what it's not.
No, I'm talking this through, so I'm working it out
So
in
you
my
understand,
head
fair.
what I would think a slut is. I think a slut would be a slut would be sexually active a lot and being dishonest with it.
I'm not sure the audience would agree with that.
Okay.
That is a
what's your
definition.
definition of slut? Just being promiscuous.
Someone who sleeps around a lot.
Okay.
So you can enjoy sex and have one sexual partner or maybe two.
Yeah.
That wouldn't, in my opinion, make you a slut.
Is there a threshold? What's your number?
Yeah, I think there is a threshold, right?
What's the number? What's the number? Give me a number.
Once you become a slut?
Yeah, give me a number.
What's the time period?
Okay, let's do this, right? A month.
Within a month?
You're a single person.
Yeah.
We're not going to say anything else. You're a single person.
Okay, so you're a single person.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have sex, obviously.
Yeah, you enjoy sex.
What is the body count that means you now are officially a slut in the eyes of Destry? I would have to say, and I'm being generous.
Okay.
I'm being really generous.
A 28-day period, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go and say, like, you're pushing it.
Mm-hmm.
You're pushing it if you've had more than 4. You're pushing it. Okay?
Really?
What?
4?
What, you're saying that, is that too low?
I mean, if you're having one a week.
Yeah. A different sexual partner?
Yeah. Bruv, you know we're in an age where online dating is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're online, you're like, right, who's near me? Oh, they look good. Swipe, right? Match. Go on a date. Possibly have sex. Weren't for me, but we had a good night.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, done. Right, back on the dating app. Swipe, go meet them, go for a date. Bro, 4?
Mm-hmm.
I know people that do 4 in a week.
Let me put it to you so you can understand it from a different perspective. If you have a daughter
Mhm.
and she is sexually active,
Mhm.
and she comes back to you and says, "Daddy, I'm having conversations with my friends and I don't really understand like when it's okay to sleep with people and how many people I should sleep with. Can you please give me advice?"
Mhm.
What number of people
Mhm.
would you advocate she sleeps with in a month?
As a parent, you would probably want their best interests at heart, right? Yeah?
Mhm.
So you're going to bring that number as low down as possible to a 0. To a 0. Like, but I'm just saying it. I'm just saying it how it is. Like, at the age of 21, when my daughter finally gets let out of the cage that she's been locked in for the last 21 years, and she's like, "What's that?" I'll be like, "Oh, that's a man. You don't need to worry about them."
What's that thing between his legs?
Is slut a bad thing? Or is slut just a word used for someone that is promiscuous?
It depends if you care about the structure of family and if you care about having long-term meaningful relationships. Because
Sex is just a physical release.
yeah,
It's
true.
just a physical
It's not
release.
just that.
It's not just that. It can be more.
I think you underplay it. It's not just that, actually. It's an opportunity for two people who have a connection to express their love and to bond physically. Now, what you probably don't know is there's a biological reaction that women have every time they have sex.
Yeah.
There's a release of serotonin. And that's
Sex
why you've
endorphin.
probably experienced this, but women are a lot more emotional than men after sex. It's because of these rush of hormones. And that experience is what results from that experience, I should say, is a connection from her part. She bonds to the man more than the man bonds to the woman after sex. Now, if you're having this experience over and over again, not only are you diminishing your ability to bond with a mating partner on a permanent basis, but also you're reducing your possibility of having a long-term relationship. Why is that? It's because now you're going to be comparing your current potential permanent partner with the 500 guys that ran through you before.
I think sex in a relationship, or if you're looking for a relationship, then having multiple sexual partners is not the way to find the person you're going to be with. I think that's what you're saying, right?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
You're saying that the way you're describing it is that sex is between two people who care about each other. It doesn't have to be that.
No, I'm not. No, you said it is this, and I'm saying it's not just that.
It's
it
not
can
just
also
that.
be this.
Of course, it can
Yeah,
also
so that's
be
where
that.
I was correcting you.
Of course, it can also be that. But I think in the instance of someone that's just out casually dating, not necessarily looking for a relationship, but enjoys having sex, then as long as they're doing it in a safe environment, then the number of partners, I think it's neither here nor there.
Yeah, but your original observation was, does it matter, or it doesn't matter that someone has multiple sexual experiences? And my pushback on that was, no, it has consequences. It has real life consequences, especially when it comes to the creation of a family and keeping that family together. I outlined the reasons why. Because women have a proclivity to bond to their sexual partner due to a hormonal response.
Right.
And this diminishes the more times you have sexual relations with different people. So if you carry that logic out, what happens is, once a woman has been promiscuous and she wants to settle down, she's now comparing her partner to the other people that she's ran through in her past.
Not necessarily.
This is scientifically proven. She will also find it more difficult to bond to that person, because what happens is, biologically, you become resistant to that serotonal release. So if you haven't already created that bond with that individual, then you're not going to do it, because you're no longer have.
That's proven, yeah?
These studies have been proven, yeah.
Okay.
So it definitely has real world consequences. I find it so bizarre that you think I am crazy for saying that 4 different people, bruv. A woman sleeping with 4 different people in a month.
Just a woman.
Or a man. Like, a man can be a slut, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a different word, isn't it? A player, you'd call it a player.
Right.
And let's
Ain't
not
player, just fuck a lot.
let's not get into how these two different words are perceived. I understand there is some sexism there, but that's a conversation for another time.
Okay.
But the point being is, we do not want to encourage our young women that sleeping with 4 different individuals in the time span of a month is acceptable. It's not. I haven't slept with 4 people in my whole life.
I'm not encouraging people to go out and sleep with 4 people a month. I'm just saying, I'm not surprised, and I don't think I would call someone a slut if they slept with 4 people in a month.
So what's the threshold for you?
More than 1 a week, then you're in that territory.
2 a week?
In that yeah.
Okay, so 100...
That's quite a lot.
So 104 a year.
Yeah.
You have to... So 103 a year, no. But 104 a year...
Yeah. I don't think that it's fair to have different thresholds for both a man and a woman. I think if we say this is the number where if you go past that number, you're a slut. But if you're a woman, like your number's a little bit lower. I don't think that's fair. I don't think we can do that.
Because of the biological processes, I would be more lenient towards men. But in classifying a definition, I would be in agreement with you. I think you apply the same threshold. And ultimately, I would want to encourage the unification of the family. And I think in order to do that, in order to keep families together, we have to try and limit the amount of promiscuity from both men and women. This culture of just going out and having sex randomly is, I think it's an act of degeneracy. I don't think we're evolving into, we're not reaching the heights that we're capable of.
Well, they say every time a man ejaculates, he loses brain cells at the same time. So
What? Say it again?
So yeah, the more you're having sex, the more dumb you're getting. No.
Yeah.
Okay, so we agree partly that there should be a threshold and what the threshold is roughly. The problem we have is that there's people that might have been in a relationship, no longer in a relationship, no longer want a relationship, but still enjoy having sex. In that situation, is it okay to be promiscuous for them?
Yeah,
If they have no long-term plans of settling down,
100%.
divorce people, it might be people later in life.
Enjoy yourself. As long as you're completely transparent with your partners,
Yes.
and you let them know your disposition or where you're standing and what you want from a relationship, do what you want. Just understand that your actions have consequences that will echo into your future self.
Of course. I think it's very important to do that. My point earlier when I said that it's important that as long as you're honest and you're safe, then you're doing your utmost to not put anyone at risk, both emotionally and physically. I think those 2 things are very important. So my thing is, don't sleep with someone under false pretenses. That's damaging. Don't say, oh yeah, like I'm really up for hooking up with you and that I feel like something could happen with us and I see a future.
That's
like,
what men do, right?
No, that some men do, but I believe if you are open and honest and someone's like, actually, do you know what, I'm not down for that, then you go your separate ways.
However,
or someone might be like, oh yeah, it sounds really good. This is the issue, right?
Yeah.
you alluded to it before. Oh yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah, I'm cool. No string sex. Let's do it. You have sex. Then here come the strings. Here come the strings. Emotionally attached.
part of the reason is because women have this idea that they have this inherent power to mold men into the person they want him to be. So, and men do this too, by the way. But women will look at a man and say, yeah, he's like 90% of who I want him to be. That 10% I can change. And then when reality strikes and they realize that he's not going to live up to the ideals that they had projected, they get upset and then they project that onto the individual. But that person already told you who he was. You need to go in and just be honest with yourself of who the person you're trying to date is.
Yep.
And who you are. The less of a veneer you put on, the more someone can see who you really are. And you can see if you're actually compatible or not.
Yeah, and do you know what? I think a lot of people are guilty of doing that. I think a lot of people do. Like you said, at the beginning of a relationship, it's all new and you try your hardest to impress and da-da-da-da-da. And eventually over time that sort of fades down, or the effort you put in becomes a little bit less. And that can be disappointing. That can be upsetting, right? But at that point, what you shouldn't do
It's cheat.
It's going cheat. But there are people who do cheat.
How do you solve it?
Like,
So here's the interesting thing, right?
go on.
I would shame it. This is a perfect example of where shame,
How?
collectively, well, you don't have to target an individual person. You can just call out cheating for what it is. Insensitive, selfish actions that have real world consequences and hurt people.
Yeah.
And if you do it, you should be ashamed of yourself and you should attempt to change your behavior. And friends shouldn't encourage it. And
100%.
this is another. Did you see that? Like in that clip, the other female was like, "Oh yeah, I totally get it."
And she's like, you should get it.
Yeah, like what? It's like
What? Why?
yeah. Why are you like call it out?
Yeah.
You don't need friends giving you.
Bad advice.
You don't need that.
Nah.
You need friends telling you really how it is. Like if you're slipping, they should tell you, no, this is going to mess you up.
Yeah.
Like that's not how you behave in a relationship. It's not cute. It's not funny. I don't care if it goes viral. Sort yourself out. And actually, it turns out, I want to shout her out. She's the lady Fitness Nala. She's actually turned her life around. I say turned her life around. She's born again Christian, I think. And she's kind of come out and said the reason I was like this is because I was feeling suicidal. I was numb. And they're all indicative characteristics of someone who needs things new constantly. Because you don't feel like you have enough within yourself. There's a pertinent saying that is, if you're not enough without it, you'll never be enough with it. And I think that summarizes her disposition perfectly. You need to be enough without it. And what that means is, on your own, you need to be enough. Only then can you be of value to those around you and yourself.
What's the furthest you would go to stop a friend from cheating?
I would tell him stop cheating.
Yeah. That's all you can do. And I think we need to, very important for anyone that's listening out there, there's this lad culture mentality where it's like, oh, lads. Just because you are lads or you're boys and there's a boy code and whatever, I think it's very important that you mentioned it earlier. You check your boys. You check them. If they're doing something wrong, anything that's detrimental to themselves, to your relationship as friends, to others, you need to pull them up. And don't be afraid to check them. Like, you're doing it from a place of love.
100%. That's what friends are there for, because we will all steer off course from time to time. The thing is, again, it goes back to the fact that it seems as time passes, it's becoming more and more acceptable to be a serial cheater. It seems to be the vogue. I don't know how we turn that around, but I would imagine that a good starting point would be to shame it.
This is my question. How far would you go? Would you tell the girl?
No.
Why not?
The fact of the matter is, you can be counsel to your friend. Beyond that, it's not your place to get involved. That's what I think. You know, if I have a friend that's cheating, I'm going to tell that person, sort that shit out. And I'll explain why it's not only bad for their partner, but it's also bad for them. And if they don't take my advice, they don't take my advice. There's nothing more I can do, and the consequences will play out.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
Ultimately, we have to understand that relationships rely on trust. And I think this is part of the reason we almost know intuitively that once we're known to be a cheater, we can never be trusted again in that relationship. Like, if you're in a relationship with someone that's cheated on you, and you've been duped, you've been deceived, that person that you've felt wholeheartedly you could trust has then gone and stabbed you in the back. How do you come back from that? Because there are relationships where I've seen and people have spoken saying, oh yeah, my partner cheated on me, I took them back and we're in a good place now. I'm like, how are you in a good place?
That's a whole next level of trust. We don't know what working's on, they've gone through, and I get it. I understand how hard that must be. Like, once the trust has been broken, how do you then rebuild that trust? I think time and a lot of work.
If someone was to cheat on you in a relationship, could you ever trust that person again?
I've always said to myself, it'd be done. Like,
same.
Not out of spite or anything like that, just because I'm not sure that I could get over that. Like,
and that's what I'm alluding to. Like, for me, trust is the very most fundamental level of a relationship. It is the grounding for a relationship. Obviously, we spoke on a previous episode that aesthetics are important, but beyond that, once you're actually in a relationship, trust is everything.
Yeah.
Like, if you ask me a question in a relationship, I'm going to give you the truth. If you didn't want the truth, don't ask me that question.
Yeah.
Because whether it's hurtful or not, I'm going to tell you the truth. And that's sort of something I feel is lacking in modern relationships. People are being shown that lying, if it's just a little small thing, it's okay. It's not okay.
No.
Because that will grow into something else.
But isn't everyone guilty of doing that? Like, do people not do that with their children? Just tell a little white lie here.
You know my position.
Oh, the ice cream van, that means he's run out of ice cream. Like,
No,
do you know what I mean?
No,
Like,
I don't do that. I don't do that. And that's why you know about my whole thing with Christmas.
Can we get into that? Can we just quickly go into that?
Oh, you can if you want.
Can we just quickly go into that? You used to say you are not lying to your child. I'm not telling her that there's a Father Christmas. I'm not doing all this. Like, why would I lie to my child?
Yeah.
I get it. But there's like the magic of Christmas. And everyone thought you were a bit of a Scrooge. Everyone was like, what? You're ruining the magic of Christmas for her.
They're shaming me.
They're shaming you.
They were.
I just think everyone was so shocked by it.
And then they shamed me.
And then you did that. Oh no, we can't go into it.
Why?
I don't want to ruin the magic of Christmas for anyone. We can't go into it.
It's a lock off. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us for episode 3. We hope you had fun. I hope you have something to take away from it, and that you have your own input that you can add to the conversation so we can continue this on into the future.
I've really enjoyed chopping up with you, Rugged, but if there's anyone out there that has been affected by anything that we've spoken about, we're going to leave a couple of links below that you guys can click on and find out a little bit more information. That may help you.
Absolutely. And don't forget to follow us on all the socials at Rugged and Baldy. And finally, do not hit the notification button, and please don't leave us a comment, because that will help us out.
Don't do it.